It's a pretty good gimbal. I mean, for a smartphone gimbal, this is the DJI OM5. It's relatively new. It's not like super brand new, and I wasn't sent it by DJI or anything like that. I mean, I wish they'd send me stuff, but you know, this is a relatively new smartphone gimbal. It's, I think, DJI's most recent gimbal. Before this, they had the OM4, and it's pretty good. Like, come on, look at that. Look, it's pretty stable. Like, I'm kind of moving it around, and it's like it's very good. It's a 3-axis gimbal, weighs about 290 grams, and it has Active Track 4.0, which I have no idea what that means, but I'm pretty sure that it's an improvement on Active Track 3.0, which I'm presuming that the previous gimbal had. But yeah, this is what today's video is going to be about, the DJI OM5. Let's get to it after this intro. So what's up, guys, it's Kai24 back at your screens, and yes, we are going to be talking about this little bad boy here. This is the, oh god, what happened there? This is the DJI OM5. It is a smartphone gimbal. You know, recently I bought myself a DJI RSC2. Before that I had a Ronin SC, which kind of failed me because it wouldn't fit my camera. Now the RSC2, fantastic gimbal for cameras. But what about for those people who want that cinematic gimbal style look, but they don't have an expensive camera, or they don't want to buy an expensive camera to get that look? All they have is their smartphone. Or what about those people who, you know, want to get those nice B-roll shots of their products, of whatever they're doing, but they're content creators who use their smartphone. Now there's many of you out there. Like, I started off using just my smartphone to do pretty much everything. Like, my phone, at the time I had the Galaxy S20 Ultra, and it did everything for me. Like, I would do all my B-roll, A-roll, everything was filmed with that phone until I got my Canon M50, and then it kind of skyrocketed from there. And then, yeah, anyway, we're not gonna go there. Yeah, so this is a fantastic little tool if you want to get those kind of gimbal style shots. Now, it's not perfect. I'll tell you that much. Like, I have played around with it quite a bit. I haven't managed to film anything substantial with it just because A, I've not had a lot of time. B, I've not had a lot of time, and C, I've not really had a lot of time. So I have played with it a bit. I've done a little bit of kind of running around after my son in the garden, and you know, just kind of seeing how this performs in situations like that. But this is an all-rounder. It can be used as a little selfie stick if you wanted to. If it can be used as a selfie vlogging cam, you know, it's nice and stable, so you'd get really good footage out of that. It can be used to do your kind of usual style gimbal shots that you want to do of things like tracking people or tracking objects. If you want to be doing gimbal kind of, you know, B-roll footage of a car or of a sports event and stuff like that. You know, whatever it is you guys are filming. If you need something like a gimbal and you don't want to be holding your phone just kind of out and then kind of shaky, and you know, you want to get nice smooth footage, then this is definitely a really good option. Now the big question is, you know, what are its core features? So I mentioned a couple of them before. Now the first thing that I want to mention about this in terms of the positives is it is really stable. It's got a 3-axis stabilization, so it's a 3-axis gimbal, you know, X, Y, and Z, I'm presuming. I don't know, but it's very stable. When you record footage with this, you're getting close to what you would get with a real camera gimbal, like as close as possible with something that is this small and for the price point that it comes at, which is about £140 here in the UK. It's a very good quality gimbal. Now the footage you can see here of me kind of chasing after my son, this is all filmed with the DJI app. Just as a disclaimer, it's all filmed within the DJI app using the kind of camera features that the app comes with rather than the inbuilt camera, and it's all filmed with an iPhone 13 Pro. So you can see from the footage here, it's really stable. Now here I'm obviously chasing around my son, who is very unpredictable in the direction that he goes in, and so you might see sometimes that, you know, the focus shifts a bit too far, or you know, I might lose track of where I'm going with it, or it might be a bit slow to turn. Now that's all kind of down to what kind of things you're going to be actually filming. Now if you're filming something that's planned and shot, you know where you're going from, like from A to B, and you know what movements you're going to make, then obviously your footage is going to come out a lot smoother. However, if you've got something as unpredictable as a 2-year-old running around and you're chasing after him with a gimbal like this, then it might not be as difficult, because that's very sporadic, and you know, kids, when they run, they change directions in all random angles and you have to try and catch up with it. So it might not be the best representation of the quality of the gimbal. However, I can say that it did perform still very, very well. I had it on with the Active Track 4.0, which basically allows you to track people and objects like that. So I had the Active Track set to my son, and it was kind of doing a good job of keeping him within the frame. Sometimes it would lose focus, or it would lose the tracking, but only because my son would kind of run out of the frame really quickly, and it'll be kind of me going, which way is he going? So that's the kind of primary reason why it might have failed. But like I said, if you know where you're going from A to B, then the tracking works really, really well. If you just hold it up very slowly, then the camera, instead of kind of moving whichever way you're going, it will also rotate. The gimbal will rotate in a direction to follow that tracked object. So it is actually a really good feature that you have, especially if you're going to be doing things of b-roll, of moving objects and stuff like that. Now, the other thing that I want to mention about this is it's very convenient because it can kind of extend to, I don't know how far this extends to. So quick update, it's a 215 millimeter extension rod. So this extends up to an extra 215 millimeters, which is about 21.5 centimeters. And I don't know how long that is in any other measurements. But yes, it's quite a nice, useful tool, because if you want to get some high shots and stuff like that, and you want to get shots from somewhere else, I'm going to pop this back down because it's kind of getting in my face. You have that ability to kind of extend it out. I very rarely found myself needing to use it because I just do like having it here. You do also have this nice little base which you can just pop it on, and this nice little kind of wrist strap, that's the word. You've got this kind of nice little wrist strap, so you don't kind of have it dangling around everywhere, and you've got a nice quick grip to it, so if you do kind of let it go, or it kind of go flying, you're not going to have it flying out of your hand if somebody knocks into you or something like that. So that is quite handy, and it's very lightweight. It's only 290 grams. It's super lightweight, it's super compact. It can fold in and fit essentially into my pocket. Let me show you. Let's take that off. So that's basically a magnetic kind of grip that you put onto the phone first, and then you can kind of just snap it onto your gimbal. It's quite nice. Just kind of snaps on. Very, 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 very easy. It just snaps on. It does its things. Let me turn this off. So let's turn that off. There you go. Turned it off. Now all you have to do is fold it in like that, and then once this comes off, which is nice, the handle comes off. There you go. It's very nice and small and compact. So if I just check this, stop handcuffing myself with the strap. There you go. I can pop this small thing with that right into my blazer pocket. Well, obviously not everybody's going to be wearing a blazer, but you get the gist of it. If it can fit in the inside of a blazer pocket, then it can fit into a hoodie or a small bag or anything. So it's very nice and compact. It kind of fits into the palm of my hand when it's folded up, so it's very easy to then just kind of put together. Then you just pop it back up, and if you've already got the grip, I want to call it, if you've already got the grip on your phone, then you just kind of plug it in, and there you go. Bob's your uncle, Fran's your aunt. I just copied that Peter McKinnon. I've always wanted to say that on camera. Sorry, Peter. It's a cool saying though. But yeah, anyway. So, it's a very, very handy tool. Now, the scenarios that you might want to use this in, like I mentioned before, is mainly aimed at people, I'm going to put it down. It's mainly aimed at people who are using their smartphone primarily for whatever filmmaking they're doing. So whether it's content creation or actual kind of smartphone filmmaking, or just day-to-day stuff. If you're on your travels and you want to take nice shots of scenery and things like that without having that camera shaking it, then it's a really nice tool. It comes at a very decent price point. £130 for a gimbal of this quality isn't bad, especially if it's for your smartphone. And the thing is, it doesn't fail you. It's USB-C rechargeable, so that's pretty much universal now. And the battery life is quite good. I haven't tested it out to its max, so I can't give you a personal indication of how long the battery lasts, but it will last you several hours. I think it's about 5 to 6 hours of use. I'm pretty sure it's something like that. I'll pop it on the screen what the real kind of usage time is based on what DJI says. But the point is, it's a really handy tool for novice filmmakers or filmmakers who want to use their smartphones for content creation. So having a tool like this obviously ups the game a little bit. And like I said, you can use it for things like vlogging as well, because it will give you that extra stabilization you need when you're vlogging. A lot of the time I've seen vloggers, who are using their smartphones and stuff like that, and their footage is really shaky because it's going up and down. Yes, smartphone cameras nowadays have quite good stabilization built into them. Like, when I'm using the iPhone to record anything, the stabilization is great. It barely, I wouldn't even use a gimbal for it in most situations just because it's so good. However, if you're vlogging, say, on a mountain, whatever reason, or you're trudging through a forest and you're doing a vlog for whatever reason, I don't know, I'm just making up scenarios here, right? Don't judge me. Then, you know, you're not going to have the most stable footing. Or if you're using your phone to record in an area that doesn't have the best stable footing, then you're going to end up with a little bit more shaky footage than you would like to. And that's where the gimbal comes in. It is very stable. It's obviously not perfect. Nothing is perfect. And I'll get to those imperfections in a little while, but you know, it does give you that extra stabilization you need. It gives you that extra little cinematic touch to your smartphone filmmaking that you might want. Now, the limitations. What are the limitations? So if I turn this back on, which I think I have already, no I haven't. So if I turn this back on, so one of the things you'll see instantly is that when you turn it on, it's in vertical mode. So there is a button at the front here that basically allows you to double tap, and what it does is it rotates it into your landscape mode. But however, it's the rotation. It's not a full 360-degree rotation. I don't know what the maximum is, but it feels like it's like just above 180 degrees. So it doesn't go the 360, which means that you can't use the back camera for your vlogging, for your selfie. So you can't just have it turn a full 360 and use the back camera to record yourself with. You are limited to just using that front camera. Now the other thing is the Y rotation. It's very limited. It doesn't tilt upwards. So the pan is limited, it's not 360, and the tilt is also much more limited. It only goes, I don't know what degree that is, but if you can see how much I'm kind of holding it up by, then it doesn't really rotate out that much. That's the maximum you're going to get in terms of rotation. So it doesn't really tilt too far, which is a little bit annoying, because if I'm trying to get those really low shots, sometimes I want it to tilt further down, and it doesn't do that. So if I'm trying to get nice low shots, I'm genuinely having to actually physically go down. You guys kind of saw every pore on my face there. I'm physically having to kind of lower myself down to do those kind of low shots, which is why kind of taking that footage of my 2-year-old was a little bit more tricky, because I'm a lot taller than him. He's like down there on the floor compared to me. So when I'm trying to record him and I'm chasing after him, I'm just like stretching my arm down low as much as possible, and you hardly see the screen, right? And if I am taking footage from above, then it's basically just the top of his head that I'm getting. So, you know, that's where certain challenges like the tilt and the pan didn't impress me as much as I wanted to do. The pan is fine, like for most intents and purposes. The pan and how far it rotates is absolutely fine. So you do have that rotator kind of joystick at the front that you can kind of use to rotate the gimbal as well. So that does that. So hey, yeah, would I recommend this for people who are wanting to go out and buy a gimbal for their smartphones to do some amateur filmmaking or to shoot content with for their YouTube channels or other sorts of content creation, whether that be TikToks or Reels or whatever it is? Yes, because for the price point you're getting this at, it's pretty much the same as what you're getting the slightly older ones at, and off-brand gimbals. And in comparison, I think the DJI OM5 is fantastic. It comes with that Active Track 4, which is very handy, especially if you're doing planned shots and you want that tracking to be kind of perfect. You want to make sure that the camera doesn't lose your subject whilst you're using the gimbal, and then the camera's completely focused on it. Then yes, the Active Track 4 is very handy. It's very high quality. It's a very good build. It doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel cheap either. And it's small and compact enough that you can pretty much carry it around with you anywhere. And it's a smartphone gimbal, so it doesn't need much prep. Charge it up, pop it in your bag. If you need it for whatever reason whilst you're out and about, you can pop it out and use it. I sometimes just keep it in my bag for the sake of it, just in case I feel like I'm out and I want to do something with my phone and maybe record a video. It hasn't happened so far, just because I haven't gone anywhere. I've kind of gone to work and back, and that's not very exciting because I work about 20 minutes away. So hey, but yeah, for people who do, it's a nice little gimbal. It does everything you need it to, and it records really good footage. So there you have it. I definitely recommend this pretty much over most of the other gimbals that are out there. Not that I've tested any of them, but from spec wise and from what I've seen from other reviews, then definitely it's a good buy. Personal recommendation. You know, I do intend to use it more and mix it in with the other gear that I use for my content creation, and just kind of even solo create with this, because it's a good combination. You know, you pair a gimbal like this with an iPhone 13 Pro with cinematic mode and other things like that, plus the Active Track. There you go. You've got a really good quality vlogging tool. You've got a really good quality filmmaking tool, content creation tool, whatever you want to call it. It's good and it's right there in your pocket, like literally is right there in your pocket. You put your phone in your pocket and you might have this in your other pocket. Also, it comes with this little handy pouch so you can store everything inside of there. It doesn't use it. I pretty much keep it in here all the time, chuck it in my bag, and then it just kind of lies there for however long without me touching it, because I haven't really had the chance to use it, but I do intend to use it. And what I might do is I might record and film an entire video with this combination right here, and from that video we'll probably be able to see what the consensus of this was in a real life situation. Now, I say real life situation, but in a content creation situation. So there you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed that video. Hope it was informative. Hope you guys had a good idea of what this gimbal is capable of from looking at that footage of me chasing around my 2-year-old around the garden. No, and if you did enjoy it, then please do make sure you hit that subscribe button. I can see that from the stats, pretty much 99% of you aren't subscribed to my videos. Please do subscribe, because it means a lot to me that you guys are watching my videos. And yeah, again, if you like the video, then make sure you hit that like button. And if you want to know exactly when my next videos are coming out, then hit that notification bell. Until next time, everybody, this is Kai24 signing out.